and then I come back like half an hour later, and there's vomit everywhere, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck did you do? You might have to bleep that out, or else this video might be not be monetized because it's the first 30 seconds.
I mean, honestly, if they heard the whole conversation, I think they'd be shocked that that's the part we're bleeping. On that note, hi, how you guys doing? I'm Mark, it's John, and we didn't watch a bad movie this time. We decided that we're gonna watch something decent. We decided to watch something good this time.
Yeah, because like Follow That Bird was supposed to be the first step into us branching out from bad stuff into actually good stuff, and I thought we'll take a baby step with Follow That Bird because it's like a
the Sissy Duckling was kind of also decent as well.
The Sissy Duckling was also decent. That reminds me, you gotta let me know how you like the book, by the way. But anyways, now I figured Borat 2 should be our first like actual good movie we talk about, because we don't just want to talk about bad stuff, even though it can be fun. We want to talk about stuff we think is good too.
Exactly, and I was a very big fan of Borat when I first saw it. I remember distinctively in my Allentown apartment buying a 40 and chugging it while watching Borat and getting drunk and finding the movie 5 times funnier. I even checked IMDb and saw that I gave it a 9. I feel like nowadays I would actually more give it like an 8.
I think I gave Borat an 8.
Yeah, but yeah, I used to love the movie because I always loved. My sense of humor was always the raunchy, edgy style of humor. That's the kind of humor that I grew up with thanks to my dad, really. Because my dad didn't really have a filter when it came to the movies I saw. I saw Full Metal Jacket when I was 7.
Nice.
Yeah, what that did to me psychologically wasn't.
You can suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
I remember a guy making that joke, and I was the only person in the room that understood the reference because I saw Full Metal Jacket. It was actually really funny, but yeah.
Are you allowed to have jelly donuts, Private Pile? Sir, no, sir. Why not? Because I'm too heavy, sir. Because you are a disgusting fat body.
Yeah, I love that movie. That first 50 minutes, yeah. But anyways, Full Metal Jacket's a good movie too. That's a really I think I gave that a 9 out of 10. I think. I could be wrong, but either way.
Borat 2.
Yeah, Borat 2 is what we're talking about. Now, Borat was made way before the, I guess, cancel culture came out, where everything became offensive and you'd get canceled over the tiniest things. So I was actually very curious as to where a Borat 2 would go, let alone in 2020. I wasn't sure if this was going to have anything.
The character of Borat can't change because that's his whole shtick.
Yeah, his whole shtick is being offensive and raunchy. So I was curious as to how they were going to fix that and like how they were going to keep that. And watching this, I mean, yeah, there was definitely some funny moments, and they definitely did keep up some of the raunchiness, but there definitely wasn't as much of it.
Yeah, I found myself like chuckling at many parts, but this movie wasn't like laugh out loud funny like the first one or Bruno.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, I will defend Bruno till the day I die. The fact it has like a 5.9 on IMDb right now is criminal, because that movie is just as funny as Borat, and I laugh hysterically whenever I watch Bruno. And it's like
I don't remember, like, not to cut you off, but I genuinely think I only saw Borat like way back when it first came out.
You mean Bruno?
Yes, Bruno. Sorry. Borat I used to watch all the time. Bruno I would need to watch again. I don't really remember it all that much. I remember seeing The Dictator in theaters. It was me, my dad, my brother, and like 5 other people.
Well, that doesn't really count. That's a staged movie, and it's also Baron Cohen's totally scripted movies just aren't the same. Like, they feel like Hollywood movies.
Well, no, The Dictator, and that's, I think, where The Dictator really suffered. Because that movie, like, I remember feeling uncomfortable in that theater despite only being, like, 8 people in the theater. Because when it comes to Borat, and, well, not even just Borat, but, like, Sacha Baron Cohen, when he's at his funniest, is when he's doing these, like, improv out in the real world kind of guerrilla filmmaking.
It's impressive how he puts his life on the line. Like, even in this movie, when people in the real world recognize him as Borat because they know who Borat is now, and in universe they recognize him because of the in-universe documentary. So he has to put a paper bag on his head, and he runs into the middle of the street in front of a car, and I'm like, dude, that was a real paper bag, like, he could have died there. Like, that's production value, but it also makes me go, oh my god, he almost died.
It's one of the reasons why, because growing up, I've always been a fan of, again, with my dad not having a filter, I remember loving, like, the Jackass movies when I was younger. Because I loved the fact that they just went out and filmed this in front of real people, and, like, these are real people being involved. And I really think that Sacha Baron Cohen especially was, I think he's more effective at it because he knows how to stage it up pretty well. Even though the first movie that I acknowledged him as a comedian was Talladega Nights, which is a fantastic movie that has aged like fine wine.
It is not unusual for a man to hold another man's hand. It is not unusual for me to have an erection.
I need to watch that movie again, because that's another movie that I feel like was a very big product of its time. But
I remember thinking that movie was hilarious when it came out. I don't think I've seen it in a long time, but I remember it being really fun.
Yeah, I definitely haven't in a while. I would need to again, but that was when Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly were at their strongest.
Yeah.
That and Step Brothers. Everything after that was kind of just meh. But it's Sacha Baron Cohen we're talking here. And yeah, I did like this one. I didn't love it. I definitely it definitely wasn't as good as the other one. I do think he has a daughter in this one, and I do think she's the actress playing her. I forget her name, but like I did enjoy her character. I did care for her. She wasn't
committed to the role.
Yeah, and I definitely. Her and Sacha Baron Cohen definitely committed to this movie pretty well, and I can respect both of them for it. That being said, there were a lot of moments where I was kind of just very not paying attention because there really wasn't much going on. Like, there was a lot of moments where I was kind of just meh. And the movie's already like an hour and a half, so...
It follows a very similar formula to Bruno and the first Borat, where he is, especially in the case of Bruno, he's disrespected in his home country. He comes to America, and he there's always like the second act low point at the end of the second act where someone leaves him. Like, the manager left him in Borat, his assistant left him in Bruno, and then there's this dramatic moment where his daughter leaves him in this one, which reminds me, both scenes in Borat and Bruno, they always speak to each other in their native tongue, but the breakup scene between him and his daughter is all in English, which I thought was a little weird, just a little
it was
detail
interesting.
I noticed.
It was an interesting detail,
because they always talk to each other in Kazakh or Russian, or I don't know what
Kazakhstanian. I assume Kazakhstanian, but that's also off the same logic as, Canadians speak Canadian and Mexicans speak Mexican.
I don't know if Kazakhstan has its own native official language.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was one of those, I don't really know, but either way, because I know that a lot of, I know that when the first Borat came out, Kazakhstan was not happy with the movie at all, but they've since actually praised the movie because it's actually put them more on the map, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
official languages are Kazakh and Russian, so Kazakh is a different language.
Okay. So yeah, Kazakh in this one. Well, was Bruno Kazakh or what country
Bruno
was
was
he from?
German.
Okay, Oh, I really do need to see that movie again.
Yeah, it's hilarious, especially the swinging scene. You'll know what I mean when you see it. Especially when I see it with someone, it always results in hysterical laughter. And I'm not gonna spoil it for you if you don't remember, but Bruno, people watching, you know what I'm talking about with that scene.
I'm scared, but
oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, there really isn't. There really isn't too much else to talk about because, again, this movie, although it was enjoyable,
I don't think Rudy Giuliani deserved a worst actor nomination at the Razzies.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
think that was unfair.
That I do think that's pretty unfair. I mean, he wasn't really acting in it. He was kind of pranked, if anything. Yeah. And it's weird because the girl that plays Borat's daughter she was Oscar nominated, and this movie was, I think, Oscar nominated for writing. I believe it was like best screenplay or something. I think it was. This movie had 2 Oscar nominations. One was for supporting actress, and one for something else. I don't remember which, but yeah, I think it's a pretty solid.
I am curious as to how much of the movie is staged because I feel like the 2 guys he goes into lockdown with at the log cabin, I feel like they have to be in on it. Like they have to be
sure
actors.
They were. And there had to be a few actors here and there that were. And
the babysitter who convinces the daughter not to have the breast enhancement surgery
so that she can be awarded to Mike Pence.
Yeah, she has to have been on it, and I think the UPS fax machine guy had to have been on it.
Yeah, there's no way that guy could take any. There's no way that guy didn't think he was being pranked.
And all the scenes there, Borat was always dressed the same, and I know in universe he's constantly switching disguises, but I feel like making Borat change costume between the 3 scenes they had in that UPS store, they could have made it seem like it's 3 different days or something.
Yeah, I also think the scene where he played the country song, I feel like that was definitely staged as well because I have a hard time believing people were going to sing along to something like that.
I think their reactions were real.
I mean...
the song had to have been pre-prepared, but, I think the people's reactions were real, including the Nazi salute. And that's kind of what Borat excels at, is he gets reactions out of people from you would never expect.
Reactions from the correct people.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the one Mike Pence scene in this was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I have a hard time believing that was actually a thing.
And the plastics, that Mike Pence thing, I feel like we would have seen on the news if that was real. And the plastic surgeon, where it's like, would you grape my daughter? And he's like, well, not with you in the room, probably.
Yeah, what kind of reaction?
Yeah, what kind of
that raises a few questions, and I'm a little weirded out about that. But yeah, what are you thinking about rating this? I'm thinking, I think a 6. I'm thinking a strong 6.
I'm thinking I might give it a 7.
Alright,
it's still, both of us think it's not as good as the original, but still pretty good.
Yeah, it's a decent sequel. It's definitely not a terrible sequel. I mean, I don't really know how they would make a third one. Maybe the third one,
it would have to be another 15 years down the line.
Yeah. Maybe Borat's so old he's in a wheelchair and he's about to die or something. And she's, basically a female Borat, and now they have another child or something. Maybe
you mean Borat and his daughter have a child together.
I mean,
it's in Borat, Kazakhstan.
That technically would make sense. So the grandchild would be their child together. That would, that's
Yeah.
The sad scene would be with the kid running away from the mom and like Borat just confused in the background because he's so old. Yeah.
And I will say the twist at the end, where it turned out Kazakhstan was behind COVID-19.
Oh, that was great. I actually really liked that.
Better than The Sixth Sense.
I actually did like that twist. That was funny. And speaking of which, yeah, you know what? Yeah, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, leave a like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff, and anything you want to
blame Kazakhstan on COVID.
Yes, blame Kazakhstan on COVID-19. It was not the Chinese. It was not China. It was Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan. It was not China. I can't do it.
I don't think Donald Trump even knows Kazakhstan is a real country.
He probably doesn't, but I don't.
You always get up at the end of these videos, so I'm getting up to it.
All right.